Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Motorcycle Rewind, and in today's episode we talk about how to shop for a vintage motorcycle. So guys, we're in the shop today and there are about 200 motorcycles in here. So I'd like to take just a few minutes just to talk about how to shop for a vintage motorcycle. If you're looking for your first one or your 50th one, it doesn't matter, it's all the same. So let's get into it. The first thing to consider when you start shopping or looking for your vintage motorcycle is what's your budget? What's your budget, and be honest about your budget. If you were looking for, let's say, this Suzuki GT250 that we have right here, one similar to this, what's it gonna take to get this bike on the road and riding down the road? It may look pretty right now, but it may need tires, it may need an oil change, it's going to need more things to get it going down the road. So factor in to your budget those things. So if you have $2,500 to spend for a bike, well, make sure the bike you look at, if it needs tires, it's going to cost you, tires and tubes, rim strips, going to cost you, let's say $250. So we got to add that. We've got to deduct that from the price that we could pay for the bike to stay within our budget. Now guys, let me be very clear. I am not a consumer credit counselor. You spend your money the way you want to spend your money. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm just talking about set a budget. If you want to spend $2,000, that's the riding down the road price is the way I would look at it. Because I end up with more projects for pennies on the dollar because somebody didn't factor in the second part of what we're talking about. They bought a bike for, let's say they only had $1,500 to spend. They bought a bike, didn't have any more money to spend, so the bike gets rolled into the corner and then it never gets touched again. And a guy like me comes by and I buy it for $400. It's what happens. So plan for the bike plus what it's going to cost to move on down the road. If you do that, your project will move on down the road. You'll actually be able to ride the bike and not just push it in the corner of your garage. One more thing about budget is your time, your energy, and your resources. So it's not just about the dollars that you're going to spend on it, but how much time are you willing to put into this project? Because they're all old motorcycles and they're going to break. So are you willing to do that? And do you have a cost of ownership in your time and your money factored into this purchase? So once you figure out what your budget is, then let's start thinking about what type of motorcycle you want to get. Do you want an off-road bike? Do you want an on-road bike? And then how are you going to use it? Because if you know those things, then you'll start to narrow down to the type of bike you want. I also like to challenge people on figuring out how you're going to use it, because the question I get all the time on a, let's say we're looking at this CB354, right? And you go, and that's posted on Marketplace, and you go, wow, that's a cool bike. The very first question I get from people that are that are looking for their first vintage bike is, how fast does it go? You know, unless you're planning on drag racing it, that's kind of irrelevant, right? Because how are you going to ride it? If you're just going to ride this thing around, you're going to ride it, let's say in town, you're not going to, maybe you jump on the highway a little bit every now and then, perfectly capable. I always say it's going to go fast enough to kill you. Think of the model you're into, but not just, do yourself a favor, don't lock it into just one model. Try to give yourself options so you can dig into it. So far we have price and now we have model, so let's move forward. So now we've got our budget figured out. We know about what model or what we want in a motorcycle. So now it's time to start looking. The easiest place to start looking, Facebook Marketplace. Why? Because that's where they keep all the old motorcycles for sale. And I like to take, when I start looking on Marketplace, I'm not looking for the particular model, I'm looking for motorcycle. And I'll narrow my scope first with just in my city or the town that I live in. The bigger the town, the smaller the radius to start with. And then I expand out. So let's say we're in Slidell, Louisiana, just north of New Orleans. I'd put in 40 miles. I'm comfortable with that. Just motorcycle, let me see what's out there. Just throwing a pretty wide net in a very narrow, very small pond. And then if I don't get any results that I'm into right then I just expand my search. Now, I have no problem in jumping in the truck and driving 8-9 hours to go pick up some motorcycles. Not a problem. That may not be, you may not have the means to do that. Once I expand my search outside, let's say you're in Chicago. If I expand my search out of the greater Chicago area, that's not that far away, if you think about it, maybe 100 miles away, now I'm in farmland and I may find a better deal. By doing that, you will stumble on some pretty great things. You know, like this Flying Dragon that we bought in South Central Arkansas for a really, you'd be amazed if I told you what we paid for those 10 motorcycles. Got it for a great deal. That's worth the drive. So expand your search. The other thing is when you start looking, you're always looking, you may not always be buying. Do some research, don't get in a hurry to say, okay, let me start doing this right now and I want to bike by the weekend. That's the worst way to buy a motorcycle. Oh, bike night's tonight, let me buy a motorcycle. No, you're gonna end up spending too much money, you're not gonna do enough research, it's not gonna work. Give yourself some time to see what's out there and to kind of get a gauge on the market. So now that you figured out what your budget is, you've figured out kind of the model you're looking for, and now you're starting to, you've seen a couple of them, and you're looking in your locations, and you've seen a couple of them that you found. Now it's time to really do some deep dive of the research. This is when you have to zoom in on all of those pictures to see what's there and what's not there. Look at them, don't just look at the shiny bits, look beyond the shiny bits and see what's there. Because every one of these motorcycles has an unobtainium part. And when I say unobtainium, they're available. You can get them. You'll pay more for the part than you did buying the motorcycle. Keep that in mind. Like I'll give you, for instance, we'll look at this guy right here. This is an 86 Honda CT110. That's great. We're missing the auxiliary fuel tank. That's $300. It's missing the tank and the bracket to hold it. That's about 300 bucks. So if you're looking at, and if you want it complete, it's not an issue. But it's $300. If you're paying $600 for the bike, runs and rides, it's missing the fuel tank, and you really like to get that, well then you may be better off finding one for $800 that has the fuel tank. I'm just using that example. Those are made up numbers. And that's where doing your research on these things and really see what's out there. The thing I like to do is once I figure out a bike that I'm settled on, I take that. Let's say Honda CT110 is a horrible example, but if I take a Honda CT110, I'll go to eBay, Honda CT110 for parts, click on that, and see how many pages pop up. I sort it by, you can sort that response by used parts, because I want to just see what's available out there. So guys, while you're on eBay looking for parts, go ahead and check out the Motorcycle Rewind eBay store. We put new items up every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So go check out, see what's there. Let's get back to the video. And now, I use that as an example. We take this, if we did the same thing with this Bridgestone 90, it's gonna be one page of parts versus the CT110 is gonna have so many parts available. It'll tell you on eBay, upper left-hand corner, it'll tell you how many responses there were. So the CT110 is probably gonna have 5,000 responses on eBay, meaning to the search Honda CT110, that one's probably gonna have 100, maybe even less. Especially if you see in the pictures, when you were zooming in, the part that it's missing, search for that. And that'll help you to make a better informed buying decision. So now you've already figured out what your budget is. You figured out what model you're into. Now you've figured out where you started looking, where your location, you found a couple of bikes, you figured out what unobtainium parts are available. Now it's time to figure out, what's this bike worth? What's it worth? What somebody's selling it for doesn't mean that's what it's worth. To me, it's worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. So the easiest way to do that is to find comps. Find things that are comparable on online. And the easiest way to do it, again, we'll use this Suzuki GT250, which who knows what year it is, 1972. So I would then go on to just your search bar, go into Google, 1972 Suzuki GT250 value, and it'll pop up, right? It'll give you an estimated of this is, because it's pulling data from all over, it'll give you an estimation of what this thing could be worth. Now, is that real? Sometimes it's close, you know. You can use the Vintage Motorcycle Price Guide if you want to help out if you have it. But you can do that. Then if I'm really serious about a bike and it's a nice bike, it's in good condition. Let's say it looks like this one. It's in good shape. Then I'll look a couple other places. I'll go to see, let me see if I can find some auction results. So you can go to Mecum Auction. It's free. You just sign up. All you gotta do is give me your email address and a password, and Bob's your uncle, you're good. And then you can search past auction results to see what these things went for. You can't get the results unless you sign up. And you can also search Bring a Trailer to see what they've sold for. That's no different than having your house appraised before you buy it. They look at comp before you buy it or before you sell it. They look at comps in the neighborhood, same size, all that stuff, to see what they're selling for. Those comps, the appraisal goes up and down because the market goes up and down. So do that to figure out what it's worth. Now we come to the final step, the step that I think most people have a hard time with. It's negotiating. We're gonna buy it. We're gonna buy this CB 354. Guy wants X for it. Whatever it is, I only wanna offer this. I don't wanna get in a fight. I don't want to, it's not emotional. It shouldn't be emotional, right? Separate that. If you've done your research. So the greatest thing my father ever said to me is, don't let desire overrule good judgment. So the desire you have for this motorcycle or this one or any of these motorcycles should not get in the way of making a good decision. You know what you're gonna do, stick to your guns and then move on, right? If you can do that, that's great. It's not emotional. We're still gonna be friends. I'm not going to get in a fight with him. He's going to say yes or no. Okay. The key is make your offer, be quiet. Hey, I'll give you $1,000 for it. Be quiet. The person who talks next typically loses. And be willing to walk away. So guys, I hope this helps you in your shopping for vintage motorcycles. And if you have some comments down below, go ahead and share your buying stories, maybe your negotiating stories, things like that. I'd love to hear them. I think it's fun. So guys, as always, thanks for watching yet another episode of Motorcycle Rewind. And do me a favor, like, tag, share, and follow us on Instagram at Motorcycle Rewind. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thanks again, guys, and have a great day.
Well, I woke up early with a pocket full of dreams, strolling through marketplace and classified screens. Every bike's ran when parked, every seller swears it's gold, but I've learned a thing or two from the stories they've told. First things first, gotta set that right. Leave a little room for some old bike advice. Tires and cables, batteries too. That bargain motorcycle might bankrupt you. Take your time, don't lose your head. Don't buy the story that the seller said. Do your homework, count the cost. A little patience beats getting lost. There's another old Honda just around the bend. The hunt for the right one never really ends. Maybe you want a scrambler, maybe something small. Maybe that dream bike isn't your dream at all. Keep an open mind when you're looking around. Sometimes the best deal's the one you never find. Don't stop searching at the county line. The best old bikes are worth a little drive. One more hour down that two-lane road could save you thousands before you load. Now what's it worth? Better do your homework. Check the auction. Check the auction. See login too. Knowledge gives you bargaining power, and that's something money can't buy you. Look real close at every picture there. Missing side covers. Better beware. 1 year only parts can ruin your day. Yeah. Nobody's got one this bad. When it's time to talk, stay cool and smile. Stick to your number a while. If it don't work out, just shake a hand. There's another old motorcycle somewhere in this land. Yeah, take your time, don't lose your head. Dreams are cheaper than mistakes you've made. Know your budget, know your plan. Don't let excitement guide your hand. The best motorcycle isn't always the first you see. Sometimes walking away is the biggest victory. Well, the trailer's still empty, but that's alright. I'd rather come home with nothing than home the wrong back tonight.